Okay, look at that face. I was, I'm exhausted, man. I ate some lunch. What's that called? Ramen soup that I prepared. One bowl for my wife, one for me. Okay, the time is 2:50 p.m. on Monday. I think it's the 11th. Let me think. I'm not sure the 11th or 12th of May. Anyway, I was telling you yesterday about how I was getting wiped out. Well, then I ate dinner yesterday, and I didn't get wiped out afterward. Why? Because the bad guys are watching me that closely, and they're gonna play that way. Let off here, get on me there. So I had lunch. I don't know, half hour ago. I was falling asleep here in this chair. I'm wiped out once again, and I'm gonna say, look, if these are related to some disease that I have, why didn't I get wiped out after dinner yesterday? I had a huge dinner. No wipe out afterward. Okay, so anyway, these folks are on me. They got in basketball, right? The sport of basketball, when the other team is like trying to get you to make mistakes in a real close game, they'll employ a defense called a full court press. That means the defense is going to be all over the team with the ball from one court to the other, from one end of that court to the other. They're going to be all over the other team. They're not going to let them have any free space if they can help them. Well, the bad guy is on me like that, so I've got a wheeze that I'm trying to protect myself from, but I can't like wear a suit of armor to protect myself, and I'm wiped out too. I mean, I ate. I got to go lay down and sleep for a couple hours now. So like I say, there it is. I'm letting you know. I guess the plan is one of these days to have me go to sleep and not wake up, right? As I've said before, because I was male raped while asleep, I give the impression to everybody all the time that I'm never telling the truth about anything. So, okay, I'm a fake Jew. I'm a fake scholar. I'm a fake writer. I'm a fake American. I'm a fake lover. I'm a fake husband. Is there anything else? I'm a fake whatever to fake. I walk with a cane because I can hardly walk many times, and I'm faking that too. I'm faking that I need a cane. So, people who know me, like my wife, know that I'm so honest. I'm what's called honest to a fault. I'm not faking anything at any time, okay? Now, I did want to say that along with being considered a faker, I've often been considered to be like somebody hiding something. I'm hiding who I really am. So at my place of work, right, after working with all my might, coming there an hour early every morning and starting an hour early without pay, staying at that desk, never talking to anybody, no visits to employees for conversations, never. I stayed at my desk and worked, and that was all, okay? And I never left that desk a second before it was okay according to the time clock. If lunch was at noon, I waited till the second hand hit noon, and then I moved from that desk. Same for going home in the evening. If I worked till 3:30, I'll wait till the second hand hit the 3:30, right? And budge, okay? So I'm supposed to be hiding something all the time, right? So I have this brother of mine. I'm not going to say which one because I got two. And what was he always saying to me toward the end there when I was about to get nearly murdered in 1982? But what I'm saying must have been radiation poisoning, okay? What was he always saying to me? He was saying to me, "You're hiding. You're hiding." Hiding what? My own brother was saying that to me. I'm hiding, huh? I wasn't hiding anything at any time. I never have. I don't hide things, okay? I'm all over the place, honest, even these videos. Even these videos, I'm revealing everything about myself to the world. Potentially, if these things are actually going out. And they don't look like they are because I look online, it says 0 views to these videos. Is anybody seeing them? Well, not from what I'm seeing on my phone. 0 views. Well, anyway, I'm hiding things. I'm telling everything about myself to the world. Anyway, this brother was claiming, "You're hiding." I wasn't hiding. I've never hidden anything. And I'm saying that this idea that I'm hiding, faking, is due to this thing that happened to me while I was asleep. And he gives this impression to others somehow by unconscious communications that are being broadcast from me that I don't even know I'm broadcasting, okay? It's like, I'm hesitant to make this analogy, but back in 1988, okay, I was accused of harassing this woman broadcast journalist, okay, which I was not doing, but I was accused and I had to go before a court of law and I was convicted of harassing this person. It's outrageously a lie, okay, but okay, I'm not somebody with money or power of any kind, so I got convicted and I've lived under the stigma of that for ever since. It was 1988. So, the judge in that courtroom said to me, he said, "If you ever try to contact this person again, you're going straight to jail. Do you understand that?" I said, "Yes, sir." Well, I went from there back into the mental prison I'd been put in, where they were telling me, "We'd let you out of here, but you got no place to go, so you got to stay in here till you have some place to go." So anyway, I read about this journalist that I'm supposed to have harassed. And let me say that I don't believe that this journalist herself was behind these legal actions taken against me. I think it was the station she worked for. I don't think it was her at all. I just don't. I never have. And so I don't hold any grudge against this particular woman. I don't. I never have. Now, I read like 25 years after this happened to me, okay, an interview of this journalist that was online, okay? Now, what was she saying in the interview? She was saying at that time that I was accused of harassing her. And by the way, she didn't mention me at all. She didn't mention, "Oh yeah, at this time in my life, I was being harassed. It was horrible. I was at work and this man was harassing." No, there was no mention of me at all. What was she saying in her interview? She was saying at that time that I was supposed to have been harassing her. She was desperately seeking a husband. She had no man in her life. She wanted a husband and children. She had no children, no man. So what did I do? I saw her on TV and I thought, that's the woman for me, okay? For a lot of reasons, okay? A lot of reasons. I can't go into all the reasons that I wanted somebody in journalism like that. But I felt this overwhelming attraction to this person. And what do I hear 25 years later? She was unconsciously broadcasting this message that she was desperately seeking a man. Desperately seeking a husband and children. I think that word was used in the interview, desperate. And I picked up on the broadcast and responded to it. Because I was desperately seeking a friend to help me in the outrageous catastrophes that had been hitting me since 1982. And I was trying to escape through love and friendship. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. So I respond to these unconscious messages. She must have been broadcasting because I hear later that was all that was in her mind at that time. Well, there's an example of unconscious messages that people are broadcasting, right? So I'm saying because of what's happened to me, because I was raped repeatedly while asleep, I also am broadcasting messages that are unconscious that I don't know I'm broadcasting. Apparently, I have no control over that. I can't stop it. But these messages are catastrophic for me. They've got me completely misunderstood everywhere I go. Even in my own family. I got this brother of mine saying, "You're hiding. You're hiding." I wasn't hiding anything. So there's my attempt to try to wake myself up as I'm being put to sleep again. But what I'm saying, it must be a microwave weapon or an ultrasound weapon or both that have been being used on me for 40 years. And now we're in the stages of the final solution for me, which is I'm old enough to die. And if I do, by this being put to sleep, there's not a soul on earth going to question that or give a damn. Okay? If I have a funeral, there's going to be one person, two people there. My wife and my son, that's it. So it's going to be a big a demonstration or a riot at the abuses I've suffered, the injustices. There's going to be no such thing. So I'm doing my best to get my message out now. Before it happens that the bad guy puts me away this way. I'm desperately trying to escape the fate I just tried to sketch. Well, I feel sick right now, and is it because I'm sick? No, I'm getting hit, and I'm trying to protect myself, but I'm under a massive full court press by the bad guys now because of the videos I've been making and the messages I've been sending out to others that are going unheeded, apparently. Well, that's all from me for now. Bye for now. I was just reviewing what I just filmed about myself and being a faker by everybody, and I missed the point I wanted to make. I was getting into it, and I was getting blackout, so I had to keep turning the camera off because I was going into emotional blackout repeatedly. Well, quickly before I forget again, I was saying I worked at this place for years and years and years and years. I came there an hour early to work. And started working there because I didn't want to be late and be accused of being late. So I arrived an hour early every day and started working an hour early without pay. I don't want to forget what I was saying. Okay? So I finally get to retirement. Okay? Now, I was hired at this place as a handicapped worker, but I've told this story many times. The personnel director at that time, he said, okay, now he's hiring me. And I wasn't saying a word about being handicapped, right? Because I didn't know whether he knew my handicap. It was possible, I thought to myself, that since I was coming to this place from a handicapped agency that took anybody, any handicap whatsoever, and as I've said many times, when I was in the room where there were all kinds of notebooks of job openings and all, and I was in there every day for 2 years, often in there with me was a young woman who had no arms. She had these little stubs, so like if she wanted to eat an apple, she ate it with her feet. And she was often in there with me. Now, any kind of handicap could go to this place. And by the way, I could go and get a copy of the letter I had saying that I was severely handicapped. I think it was called something or other B qualification. I have copies of it still that I could even use now because this is for life, right? There's no cure for this thing. I could go get that letter now. I still have copies. I could show a copy of that letter, but I'd be afraid somebody'd be suing me, so I won't. But I still have copies of the letter saying I'm severely handicapped. Anyway, I don't want to forget what I was saying. I work at this place. I'm hired as a severely handicapped worker, but as I say, when the guy hires me, I don't know if he knows my handicap. So this handicap that I was supposed to have, being severely mentally diseased, this is one of the most stigmatized handicaps in the world. So I was thinking to myself, he doesn't know maybe what the handicap is, and he's trying to find out from me. I'm not going to tell him. I have a cousin who's passed away who had a handicap called Wilson's disease. Now, I don't know the details of that disease, okay, but it's a liver disease of some kind. And it severely limited him, okay? So, was he considered handicapped? I don't know, but he might have been. So, I'm saying to myself, they don't know my handicap. Maybe I got Wilson's disease or something else. They don't know what I got, apparently. And I'm not going to tell them. So, this guy says, now, once you get started, this is my first day, come back in the office, we'll have a long talk. He's saying to me, well, I never went back in that office. Never. Often I thought, what do they know about it? Do they know or not? But I'm not going to tell them anyway. So, okay, I work all these years at this place. And by the way, I don't want to criticize them. They're the only place that did hire me, and I did advance to a higher position there. I advanced to the highest position in what was called the bargaining unit. That means members of the labor union covering workers there. I advanced to the highest position there. Okay, so they did do that for me, and I'm not criticizing them. However, here's how it worked out. I make it to retirement, and I'm one of the best workers they have. Okay? So I see at the end there, after I retire, and I'm going to meet up with, let's call him management. A member of management. I don't want to identify the guy because, once again, he can't be blamed, right? Can he? So he's saying to me, now that I've retired, he's not saying to me, Albert, we always knew you were mentally diseased. Is that what he's saying? No, you know what he's saying? He said, I got to say this. He says, he's saying to me that I look like what? I'm in Italian organized crime. And I was hiding in there. He's not saying I was mentally diseased at all. I'm a member of organized crime. Listen to the wheeze. Anyway, no, I'm not. And my wife is a witness. Well, she can't hear, so as he's telling me that, he's telling me, let me just leave it at there because I don't want to criticize this man. I don't. This place gave me the retirement I'm in. I worked very hard for it, okay? And I got to say, I respect this place. And they can't be blamed for misunderstanding me the way they did, okay? So this guy is thinking, they were telling me that this man who's worked for me all these years was severely handicapped, but I don't see it. So in the end, I'm saying he must be a member of organized crime who was hiding in here. That's what he was telling me. That's the point I wanted to make in the last video. I never made it. I was falling into one emotional blackout after another, and I completely missed the point that was the whole point of that video. Well, there it is. I can't help but make this final, and I hope it's a quick footnote. When my son, the biological son of my wife and my deaf wife and me, I've had no other wives. I never even had a girlfriend, okay? I've got this one wife. Let's see if you can see her over here. There she is. For over 30 years now. I met her when I was 40. I don't want to forget what I was going to say. We had a son, okay, and I used to do homework with him every night. The way you say this in America was we were doing homework at the kitchen table. Well, there was no room for a table in our kitchen, but we were at a table, I guess. I did homework with him every night until he didn't need me anymore. It was sometime during 6th grade or afterward, he stopped needing me to do homework. Well, anyway, when he was in the lower grades, they give these kids homework, right? Like math homework. And these problems would all work out like to an even number, right? Or even or odd number, but never to like a fraction, right? If you got a fraction, you knew you were doing wrong, even though the right answer might have been a fraction. So, because maybe they made a mistake in the book, right? So our son would be telling me, if I came up with like an answer to a question of his, and it was the answer was like a fraction instead of a whole number, he said, that's wrong. He's telling me as a kid. I said, why? It's not going to come out that way. It's going to come out, to a whole number. They're not going to do that where there's a fraction. We haven't learned fractions yet. It's not going to come out to a fraction. So what am I saying here with this little story? I'm saying that people out in the world do the same kind of thing. They're not going to think that, oh, he was raped while asleep. It's not going to occur to them, right? At all. Okay? They're going to think whatever's obvious, okay? The whole number answer to whatever happened means that this management man is going to say, well, what are the whole numbers for this? He's not severely mentally diseased. What else can I see here? What other whole number possibilities are there? You realize I'm speaking metaphorically here about whole numbers, right? He's a member of organized crime, who I've seen in the newspaper, often described back during this time period and before, as an organized crime figure keeping a low profile. I'm keeping a low profile, huh? I read about those guys too. I didn't know anything about organized crime, but I did read that, for example, I looked into this. There was an organized crime boss in New York City, apparently, who was one of those fruit vendors. Yeah, he's got a little cart, he's selling apples and oranges, this kind of thing. And there's even a song, right? It was very popular among Italian Americans. Please don't squeeze at a banana, because when you do that, honey, you make them flat. Okay? So the whole number answer to me, as I've been working at this place all these years, I've shown no signs of mental disease, nor have I ever mentioned it. I got videos where I've said I never even talked. I didn't go near that subject at all. It didn't exist. Mental disease, where? They don't exist, so I never discussed that. No mention, no asking for help. Oh, God. No way. I probably never even used the word help in all the years that I worked there. So the whole number answer to me was, but I've said, let's see, what are the possibilities? He's an organized crime figure keeping a low profile. You touch it this, you touch it that, you touch everything. You squeeze it this, you squeeze it that, then you buy nothing, eh? Please don't squeeze it a banana. When you squeeze officer, please squeeze it a coconut. Squeeze it a watermelon. But please don't squeeze it a banana. I finished dinner at 6:18 p.m. It's now 2 minutes after 7. I'll hardly stay awake, keep my eyes open. This is the 11th of May, 2026. The exact time is 6 minutes after 7.